The real issue with ABS-CBN and its owners is not press freedom. It is money, politics, and power. How power is acquired, how it is abused and maintained, and most of all, how it obstructs the country's economic and democratic development. For the past few days, ever since ABS-CBN supposedly went off the air, their stars and celebrities have taken to social media to rail against what they perceive to be oppression on the part of the government. In desperation, they would want to use their influence over the multitudes of fans to muddle the issue and drum up support for their network. One of the more prominent stars who spoke against the government is Coco Martin. He said in a social media post addressed to me that, and I quote, "Kapag ang pamilya ko kinantit, kahit sino ka pa, lalabanan ako ng patayan sa iyo, kahit patayin mo pa ako." Maraming salamat, Solicitor General Joe Caleda, at sa bumubuo ng NTC sa kontribusyon ninyo sa ating bayan. Tinatarantado ninyo ang mga Pilipino. It appears that he is spoiling for a fight. He feels that he can solve their problems the same way as he solves them on screen with much of bluster and bravado. Allegedly, he has apologized for his tantrum. However, we cannot discount the fact that in his rage, Coco Martin's outburst showed a clear lack of understanding of the situation. His sarcasm is clear. Ipagdarasal ko na lumiwanag po sana ang inyong isipan at kung sino man po ang nagtutos sa iyo, and hope. If I had not been the Solicitor General, I would have called his bluff and make him eat his words. For decades now, ABS-CBN has been deceiving the Filipino people. Appropriately, Congress now seeks to revise the past of ABS-CBN to determine if they are worthy of a legislative franchise. In view of its nature as a grant from the state, a legislative franchise is not a right that can be exercised at will and pleasure. Rather, it is a privilege subject to regulation under such condition as the government may see fit. Thus, in cases of misuse, non-use, or abuse of a franchise, the state ought to reassert its authority and rights as a grantor, regardless of the grantee's identity and influence. Through the proceedings before this body, the time has come to expose ABS-CBN, whose owners and corporate officers continue to deceive the Filipino people into believing that they are in the service of the Filipino. In truth, however, ABS-CBN is motivated not by service, but by greed and desire for power and influence. Their brazen acts must come to an end. The hour of reckoning may have been delayed, but it has now come. As for ABS-CBN, you may have committed too many violations which went unnoticed and unpunished, but we are determined to root out such illegal practices. I could hear now the voice of Frank Sinatra resonate, and now the end is near. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Solicitor General. Ito pong nabanggit uli yung mga manggagawa. Kagaya po ng sinabi natin, nakalulungkot po talaga ito. Ang Congress po nakikipag-sympathize sa kanila. 11,000 workers. Because of that, Mr. Chair, I will wind up, but I will respectfully place on notice ABS-CBN that I will be requiring from them the following: to submit to the House of Representatives, particularly ito pong dalawang committee na gumagabay sa atin. Number 1, 2018-2019 ALPA list of withholding tax report of ABS-CBN employees to the Bureau of Internal Revenue submitted and received. 2018-2019 ALPA list of contributions made by ABS-CBN for its employees to the Social Security System submitted and received. 2018-2019 ALPA list of contributions made by ABS-CBN for its employees to Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, submitted and received. 2018-2019 ALPA list of contributions made by ABS-CBN to the Home Development Mutual Fund or Pag-ibig Fund, submitted and received. 2018-2019 ALPA list of the contributions of ABS-CBN to the Employment Compensation Commission and the Bureau of Local Employment of the Department of Labor. List of pending labor cases at the National Labor Regulations Commission filed against ABS-CBN. Magkakaalaman na po tayo kung totoo po talaga yung 11,000. Kung hindi po nila isasubmit, Mr. Chair, I will ask the offices I mentioned here, subpoena duces tecum ad testificandum. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.